Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. We have some new lilies blooming in the garden. I may have shown you these. They have been in bloom for just a few days. But these are the tiger lilies and they have not been yet in bloom. So this is the first time I get to show them to you this year. And some of the asters are blooming. This is crepe myrtle, the Laura tall phlox, screaming orange daylily, Jacob Klein bee balm, yellow yarrow, and this is the little sedum that's beginning to bloom. And of course this is the Texas red yucca bloom. I see that my favorite lily is blooming this morning. This is the stargazer lily. So now look at our rain gauge. We got another inch of rain, and after a rain is the perfect time to look in your garden and see what's new that's blooming, like that pretty stargazer lily. And I'm looking over here at the pink ruffled Carolina hibiscus, which has got some blooms on it this morning too. That, along with the beauty that pops out after a rain, there can also be some destruction in the garden. This pot had tipped over, dumped the dirt out. It didn't actually dump this little plant out, it just loosened it up, and so I put some more dirt in it, and then I did have another pot that it did dump some of my plants out, so I'll have to see if I can get that one either replanted, or I may just wait now until some of my others come up and just transplant some. And some of the weeds that I hadn't found yet popped up after the rain. I don't know what kind of weed this is, but I do hate it to be in my garden because it's one of those that just reseeds itself so readily that it's just a nuisance, and I don't want this in here. I have enough to do without taking care of little nuisances. As a matter of fact, I had to get a new computer, so it's not here yet with me, but it's getting everything from the other one transferred over to my new one, and then I'll have to set it up, and I'm real anxious about that, but hopefully it'll be a good thing once I get it done and kind of learn the little differences in it, and hopefully I'll be going again soon. I almost always thank God for the rain, and especially, well, there may not be an especially, it may be all the time, but right now I'm grateful for the rain because it gave me time away from the garden, from watering, to go and take my computer down and purchase another one, and then time again to maybe to go pick it up if they have it ready today. I'll just kind of have to wait and see. I would love to go see my niece. There's so many things, I can't really get it all lined out in my mind, but I'm just going to have to pray about it and do as much of it as I can, and just thank the Lord for the blessings of the rain in July, on July the 6th and 7th. That's wonderful. That's something I've prayed for in the past. You know, I think sometimes our prayers catch up with us, even though when we're going through, like there was about 3 years we went through enormous heat all summer long. Sometimes even the established flowers didn't make it through. But this year it's like we're getting the answer to those prayers we prayed back then. And I already need to trim some things again, like this wisteria definitely needs trimming so we can get by the path. And here's a little beauty this morning. It still has the raindrops on it. Look at this little grouping right here. It just says summer. The pink zinnias, the pretty pink and yellow daylily, a deeper, darker pink zinnia, and the tall phlox. This one's not very tall, but it will be at some point probably. It will be like this at least. And I'm looking right out here because all the other times this little pot has fallen over. This little pot right here. And then had a domino effect to make the one in front of it lose its little decor at least. I had shown you that I put these stakes around it to keep it there, but it didn't hold. It's just a little too far away from it. It let it go ahead and slide and fall, and then of course moved this one over, which I still need to glue that up. But I wanted to show you that I did put a little this tiny little rod right here went down into those holes, and it anchored it into the ground enough. It didn't go down in there very far, but it went enough that it kept it from falling over. I'm excited about that. Noticing that after the rain, several of these little profusion zinnias opened up. Look how many are going to open up. This just makes a little bouquet when it fills out with bloom. And I'm seeing some down here. Here's one of the pretty yellow ones. And then this may look a little bare when my Bells of Ireland go. I do have a few other things in there. These little zinnias, and these are cosmos. So hopefully it won't be too awfully bare. But I will probably leave these and let at least some of them and let them go to seed, so they'll be here again next year. This little petunia looks like, I don't know if it's just because it's wet, because it does this when it gets wet too, but I'm thinking it may be time to give this a trim and hope that it'll come back out again so that it doesn't just totally go away for the summer. I would love it to be there. I may have to just kind of take some clippings of this beautiful little dew plant and put it all the way around it. Because I normally do, whenever something dies out, I try to replace it with something, either a coleus clipping or a zinnia seed. You can plant zinnias probably up till the end of July and they'll still bloom for you. I know part of July because I've done it close to the end of July and still got beautiful bloom for the late summer. So there's lots of different things you can put in there when some of it goes away, so it's not bare. Look how this little coleus, or grouping of coleus, is just filling totally out in this pot, and this little one behind it even is filling out. Our rains have been so good for the garden. And look, Susie, my hens and chickens are still going strong. I love this one that just kind of conglomerated up on itself. It's so pretty to me. And then these others are trying to put on little babies. I may have more than I'll know what to do with. And then, of course, there's grass. There's always a weed or a grass coming up somewhere that I need to pull up. Every gardener knows that. And these little ones with the stalk, this one's leaning over from being wet, but these are pineapple lilies, and they sometimes, not always, but sometimes they put up a little right in the middle thing that resembles a pineapple, and it's very pretty. I like them. I need to put some plant food on my bougainvillea so it will bloom. These are beautiful when they bloom. They totally look like bright pink crepe paper blooms. My little bacopa is still alive. Not in bloom right now, but it should bloom again and keep blooming throughout the season, hopefully. We got some more rain and some winds. My little angel's on her head. I'll have to get her all set back up there where she can look a little more dignified. And I see this one. I was so proud that I got it where it didn't fall over the last rain, but it fell over again. So I'll have to go around and see what all else I probably need to rework a bit. We got rain again. Of course, I showed you some of the damage, and that's not all. There's more, but it's nothing disastrous, but it's just going to cause a bunch of work to have to be done. But we had 2.5 inches already in here, and what did we get? Another 2.5, because we have 4.5 inches now.
Another 2 inches.
Oh, another 2 inches. Sorry. Yes, I have willow branches everywhere, and my pot that I just put back up is down again. This one is totally off and dumped out, so going to be a lot of fixing back to do. But hopefully we'll get all that done and just be grateful we got some more rain. I won't have to be out here watering today. That's always a good thing. But there's going to be a lot of cleanup. That, I think the rain caused these little allium to open up a bit. hope there wasn't a little family in this little birdhouse. And I just looked and there wasn't, so we'll just fix it back up there and it'll be fine. This is our cable line, so it's down in the trees, down in the yard. What a mess. What a mess, and yet nothing to what it could be. So we just have to remember how lucky we are. Oh, look, there's my beautiful little stargazer lily laid out on the ground. And this happened once before, but it has happened again. So domino effect. This little plant was setting up right there, and now it leaned over and in the process knocked this one over onto the car. And I noticed that this little strawberry pot is way leaning now. It was pretty much anchored, but it lost its anchor. Another pretty hibiscus bloom. So I have picked up some of the damage from our storm and put it in the bed of the truck. Little strawberry pot is upright again, so hopefully these little flowers that got squished and whipped around will fill back out and be pretty again. And while I was doing the cleanup, I was drawn to this beautiful little pink and white lily. So pretty. And I thought this little hibiscus might be blooming today, and sure enough, actually I figured it was all in bloom, every one of these little buds, but I like it fine like this, and then you can enjoy them more days. And my little stargazer lily is upright again. However, I did just notice that even though I made a much bigger hole in this pot, it has standing water in it, which is not good. The butterfly caterpillars are after the deal. See if I can get up there where you can see it. There's one. And here's one. There's a couple more over here too. I did a little snipping and transplanting. You can see that this one has been snipped off, but they were growing just spindly and tall, and so I just put them right down beside themselves down here, where it'll hopefully be, a thicker, wider plant and stronger and not so spindly looking. And my little earth sign plant had grown up to where you couldn't see the little decor in the pot, as this little petunia is looking so scraggly that I decided I would put some more stuff in here. There's one of the little earth sign in the back there, and then I put some of that beautiful stained glass coleus right here in front, just in case my little petunia goes away, but I'm hoping to keep it. I see I have a beautiful red begonia right back there. I also put some little starts in this pot, and they will most likely wilt. but I'm hoping their root will make before the plant dies, and then I can clip up the old wilty or dead stuff at that point, and they'll continue to grow and be pretty. We'll see what'll happen. It's really too late, a little late in the season and too hot for it to do that, but because of our rains, it's nice to, the ground is nice, or the soil is nice and wet for it. Maybe they'll get a good start. I think this little coleus turned out so pretty. It's small since it started out being drowned out, so I put a little clipping of it in this pot, and I'm hoping to have two now. I put one of my little baby seeds in there. The rest of them are in there by the light, but this is supposed to be a pink Tyrannia. I hope he makes it, or she. The Rose of Sharon is starting to bloom, and more of my little hibiscus is in bloom. I am giving some of my little petunias a haircut. The one that was around this little fairy, and I'm hoping it will grow back up and bloom again. And then the one that was here, which it looks so terrible right now, it was this one, this color right here, which I loved it being there so much, but it was so scraggly I don't think it could have came out of it. So I have heard and read that you can clip these back and they will build up their energy and go again. So I am certainly hoping that's what will happen, but as I've told you, I have put some little clippings of coleus in this pot, hoping that if it doesn't live, they will, and we'll still have a pretty little arrangement in this pot. Hopefully they'll both live. That'd be great. It's the 10th of July, and in the last 5 days we've had 5 rains. So I don't remember that ever happening before in July. So, and rarely any other time. We've had to pick up a lot of stuff. I'm seeing my little angel up here needs to be straightened up. And then we've had to go out and do it again. You know, just keep picking up. My friend Susie got hail with hers. And oh, I remember the time when I got hail. Ours was just winds, but the time I got hail, all of my little hostas were just in shreds. All of it looked bad, but they looked the worst of all. And they're looking good now. And Susie said that she actually went ahead and clipped hers off. And hopefully it won't be long till they go ahead and put some more fresh leaves on and look beautiful for her again. I don't know if I've shown you the pretty crepe myrtles that are blooming now. I don't know if they're all blooming, but most or all are. So they're already telling us to watch out for the heat, because it kills more people than storms or any other thing when it comes to the weather, is the heat. So, and it's supposed to be coming on strong with all the humidity and just excessive heat that we'll have to get used to, because we're certainly not used to it right now, even though we've had some heat in between the rains. So not really looking forward to that heat. I don't do well in heat, but so grateful for the rains and just for all God's blessings. Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.